All right, so next we have Craig Barber, and as you heard off the top, Craig was supposed to be on our panel, but had something that he needed to do that was very important, very busy man. So Craig is our Global Partner Enablement Manager at Asana, and so we're excited to have him here today. And what we're actually going to do is because he wasn't able to be on the panel, is we're going to set aside the next 20 minutes or so for just an impromptu fireside chat because there were a lot of questions that we wanted Craig to answer. And so we're glad that you could make it here. Craig, thanks so much for being here and spending some time with us.
Yeah, hey everyone. Apologies for not being able to join the panel. I heard it was really good. I was actually in a call about what we're going to be discussing here with our CEO, Dustin, because there's so much excitement about a lot of our channel partners and the future of Asana with AI that we're working very diligently on. So apologize for not being joined the channel. My name is Craig Barber. I've been at Asana for about 4.5 years, and I lead all of our efforts for our partner program from an enablement perspective globally. Working very closely with folks like Marquis and Bastion, who are just the best part. I mean, just that is, you're speaking and you're learning from the best of the best, with deep experience. And I cannot emphasize plus one to everything Bastion to say. That was awesome. I even have access to the roadmap, and even when I do demos, I'm always like, oh, I didn't even know this rolled out as well. So I definitely feel that. But very excited with you to be here today. And I'll be in and out of today's conversation. So I'll be adding in through chat and help supporting the conversation. But yeah, really, it's great to see this engagement, the amount of folks who are on this call today, and the excitement about Asana. I love seeing this. So thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. And so everyone knows, I mean, Craig in his position, he's the one that, as partners, we're receiving a lot of this information from every single month as well. And so you're hearing from the best of the best. I know he shared that um Bastian and I were some of the best, but Craig's the guy. Craig is the man that you want to hear from today, and that's why I'm so excited to have Craig here. He's going to shine a lot of light on stuff that Asana is got going on behind the scenes. So, Craig, we're going to go, like I said, probably like 15, 20 minutes here.
Of
Just love
course.
to shed some light on a few things, but um, viewers, audience, you may or may not have noticed Asana recently repositioned themselves not as, the number one work management tool in the market, but the number one AI powered work management tool on the market, right? There's obviously been a strong focus in AI integrating with our day to day. We talked a lot about the different functionalities earlier. So, Craig, if you can just explain to us and just share a little bit more about this strategic shift to be more focused around AI. What's Asana got cooking? What are they thinking about? And how are they using this rebrand or this repositioning to maintain their position in the market?
Yeah, it's a great question. And what I'll say, and I think it's important to take a step back here, is that, AI is everywhere right now. It's the hot topic. Everyone's discussing it. You see it on billboards going through the highway. I know when I go to the airport, I see probably 10 billboards mentioning AI. You hear it in every earnings call. You see it in every product release. But given it's also just incredible that it's only been 1-2 years since the first chat GPT through OpenAI really kind of set that stage, and how much folks are investing in it, and how much unknown there is. AI, you hear a lot about it, you hear about a lot of different companies, but there's a lot of uncertainty about it because um, we it isn't part of our day-to-day quite yet. And the greatest fear of all is the fear of the unknown. So what I'll say is that it's here. We feel like it's a very important and strategic part of of the future. But at the same time, we have to do it the right way because of that uncertainty. Um, AI, and the way we look at it is a couple of things. One, we want to ensure that it's very people centric. It's here not to necessarily uh, perform critical items or take people's jobs. Actually, which is the fear of what it's discussed. It's actually here to help people and automate processes, and through automation and through workflows to allow you to do your job better. And we have a very people-centric approach to that strategy. Um, we've shifted. We're making a lot of investments. Actually, our CEO, Dustin, he's on the board of Anthropic, which I'd say is one of the top AI companies. And so we work very closely with some of the top AI companies to see how potentially uh, we could improve our product and our strategy and further enhance it to making sure our customers see those use cases. And I'm going to double click right there. Everyone talks about AI, what it can potentially do, the data behind it, but not everyone's technical. Not everyone knows how to build an AI suite. And not everyone has the time to do that. Time is money, right? So we want to making sure that when we think about AI, the use cases, what that light at the end of the tunnel, what does it look like at the end, and how do I get there, is very crystal clear. It has to be user-friendly. It has to be easy to utilize, and I have to see the impact before I commit to it. I have to see the value it could potentially provide before I make this decision, because again, this is going to impact the way I work. Time is money. I have to making sure that it works for me. And so that's really, really critical. And what our R&D and product team is working on is to ensure that we're taking a very customer-centric approach to this. This is not an engineer. This is not an AI. This is not an AI engineer, an R&D perspective. This is actually a customer-centric approach, so that when we do roll out these features, when we do roll out this impact, which I think it's going to be huge, especially in October 22nd, we're releasing something pretty big. It's our customers can see the value right away and can start utilizing it. So I think it's going to be important to take, one, a very people-centric approach. Two, we have to understand that there has to be use case focused for all different types of teams and use cases. And three, the value and the potential impact needs to be clear up front before making that decision. Now, we've rolled out quite a few AI features. You've probably seen them in your space. Smart summaries, which is my favorite one. It's literally, everybody's in that scenario. We're on a Friday. We've all completed a project. It's your boss asks you how the project or group of project works or how things are going. Can you provide an update to the team? That used to take me 2-3 hours, and just ensuring even the right folks are on it in the right context and they're referencing the right information and all the different documents. It takes forever. It takes a lot of time. And now in a click of a button, AI can pretty much do that in 10 to 20 seconds with some alterations here. Smart chat is coming up. That's a big one as well. And then smart summaries in terms of on that task level too. We've all been on those massive threads, and you're just like, I need the TLDR. I don't have time to go through all of this. And there's some really, really exciting stuff coming out with like Microsoft integrations and AI and being able to sync different calendars and emails. A lot of cool stuff on the roadmap, I'll say. And we're making significant investments in that area. It's a really, really exciting time. We believe that that is the future. We believe that AI, especially when a work management platform and a collaboration work platform, where you're doing a lot of your processes and you're doing a lot of that work is being tracked, there's a lot of opportunity for AI into a lot of those mundane tasks or a lot of those different processes to be actually do that on the back end for you, so that it ensures that you're spending time on the most critical things that require your attention and your detail, and rather letting the AI in the background maybe potentially collect all that information up front so that you're focusing on the greatest things. 10/22 on our Work Innovation Summit in New York, we'll be announcing what really, in my opinion, a game-changing AI release. So very excited about that, and we can share more then. But it's here, it's coming, and we're embracing it. And I think it is going to be a game changer. I swear, some of the use cases I've seen are just insane. I'll give you one, and then we'll go to the next question, because I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but it's just so exciting and it's so new and it's so fresh. For instance, we created a project. We're testing it with a client right now, where their AEs basically needed to be able to produce and be able to qualify leads and be able to do it in an effective way. We built out a project where we're simply filling out a form with saying, hey, I'm talking to Nike, I'm talking to their CFO, here's their LinkedIn. If you generate that form, what it'll do is it'll go through 7 different steps automatically without even having anyone to do anything. It'll look at their company earnings. It'll pull latest earnings and reports about what their company's overall objectives are. It'll pull information about that individual's background, what they've recently said, maybe potentially in the media or through LinkedIn posts or whatnot, what their biggest pain points and what they're trying to achieve. It'll look at Salesforce to see what the latest account notes and if there's any other additional context that would be needed, all the way to the point where it's providing a summary of what's going on with that account, what are the top pain points and what they're trying to achieve. And here's a template outbound message that you can send, as well as an agenda meeting, proposed agenda meeting that you simply can copy and paste and then reach out to them and put a meeting on the calendar. It gets you all that context, all that information in a click of a button, all the way to the point where that AE can go in and now just start taking action on it. It does all that follow-up work for you to the point where basically you're sending it out. That's the power. Second example I'll go over real quick. We've all been in marketing situations where someone submits something for a creative request. You likely have a document somewhere in your organization that defines what you all need to be a complete marketing request. And maybe you have things like priority, or maybe things have like tiering, or what grouping it should go to, or just required information. By simply and this is the power of what's coming out. You don't have to essentially, you have that document, you can literally attach that document to a project, set up those automations and rules, and now when folks submit a request, it'll actually go through a series of steps. It'll look in the back end and ensure, one, it's meeting all the required information. Two, if there's additional information that is needed, it'll actually auto-assign subtasks to the person who submitted that, saying, hey, you didn't complete it there. It didn't meet the thresholds that were stipulated in this document. Please reference it going back. And three, it'll summarize everything to say if it objects. It'll even go to the point where it'll say it's a high, low, or medium priority if that's stipulated in that document. Again, you're just attaching that document, that policy. The AI is reading through it for every single request and generating those results. So by the time it gets to you, you can go back and say, oh, this is a high priority. This is the people that need to be added as a collaborator. These are the immediate action items, or this is the additional follow-up information that we need. It'll start making recommendations on where it needs to go and whatnot. Again, simply by just attaching the document. It does not require a bunch of skills in terms of building out custom rules. Super, super, super cool, powerful stuff that we're working on, that we're going to be giving you and giving our customers the ability to do it. So again, they're utilizing AI, the use case is there, the value is there, and that they can, you and everybody can spend time on the work that actually matters, and letting AI do things for itself. So I'll pause there. I know that was a lot, but very excited, as hopefully you can tell. But there's just so much cool stuff that's happening. And I think a platform like Asana, there's so much opportunity. There's so much opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Craig. It was a lot, but it just really shows like the commitment that Asana is making to making this a focus and bringing it into workplaces. And so thanks for sharing all that. And you mentioned like the partnership with Anthropic and the research that's being done there. Obviously, there's a big focus and a shift that we're seeing happen. And obviously, you can't share everything, right? But I'd love to know, how is Asana seeing AI integrate down the road? How will this evolve over time? And I think really the question is, right, like for me, even though AI has been around since, the 40s in various stages, I only heard about the traditional, or the more common, I should say, um, AI through ChatGPT in probably 2020. I think a lot of people on the call today would say the same thing, right? We've been using it and testing it. So based on the research Asana's doing, the partnership with Anthropic, all the things that Dustin's doing and investing in, are we in the infancy of AI right now as it relates to the platform? You talked about some of the features that are coming. I'm just curious, how much more or how much better are we thinking this could get 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now? Are we there yet? And what would you share as it relates to the timeline?
Yeah. One thing I'll say is that this is just the tip of the iceberg in my opinion. We recently expanded and hired our AI team like a year and a half ago. Like that's how new it is for our end. And we are generating some just incredible things in that short period of time. And the thing with AI is that it's just, again, there's just a lot of uncertainties. So saying, if any other customers or anybody can tell you crystal ball and is saying, hey, this is where AI, or this is where we're going to be in a year or two, I'd almost call BS, because I think there's a lot of unknown. But if you're not investing in it right now, then I think you're going to be falling behind. Even Larry Ellison, which is the CEO of Oracle, was asked this and was like, "Hey, what do you think about AI? And like, what do you think? Is there going to be leaders, gameplay? Like, who's going to be the leaders in this thing?" And I thought it was a pretty intelligent reply, and I totally align with it. It's just going to be like a Formula One race, right? I think it's based essentially. He said it's going to be there's going to be a leader, but there's going to be two other folks on the podium. And there's going to be AI leaders, not just in totality. You're not just going to see one. You're actually going to see it by vertical. So you're going to see some in healthcare. You're going to see some in work management and collaboration. And we feel like we're going to be the leader. We are the leader in this area, given our unique approach and also our ability with those special relationships with Anthropic and OpenAI. Dustin was an original investor in OpenAI. It sits on the board of Anthropic, so we get to see the most futuristic stuff and work with them. But also with our data model, with the work graph, that is what AI really feels like. You can't really have AI without important data structure, right? That fuels the decisions and that fuels that automation and that value that it can provide with that data. And within a container model, like sometimes, and I'm not going to get too technical here, but in a container model, which some of our competitors have, it's difficult for the AI to have full context to make those priorities, those recommendations and decisions, especially on projects that are large that impact the entire organization. So we feel like we have a leg up because we don't have a container model. We have a work graph where it bringing in all that context across the organization, across multiple teams, while also relying on team-specific data as well. That's really hard to do in a container model. It's really tough, and it's a game changer in that way. So I think it's here to stay. We're going to continue to invest in it, but again, there's a lot of uncertainty here, and there's a lot of unknowns. So it's got to be clear on the use case. And we're working with our partners and we're working with customers to making sure that once we do deliver these products, as we do, the value is there, it's clear, and the path to get there is also very transparent and clear as well.
That's perfect. Thanks, Craig. I'm actually going to pull up the work graph and the container model here because I think it's important that we just illustrate this a little bit, and then it will tie into what my next question is for you. So let me just share this really quickly here so that everyone can get a visual of what this looks like. Craig, I'll let you speak to the work graph. But when Craig mentioned the container model, right, we see a lot of times teams, are working in silos. You got marketing over here, operations, IT, sales. And the problem with this is that the way that we approach this is it's broken. There's no cross collaboration happening. There's no source of truth. Every team is working differently. And so what Asana does on Work Graph, Craig, I'll let you explain this a little bit more here, but they're breaking that traditional container model. Can you just speak to what's happening here in the Work Graph, Craig?
Yeah, and it matters to certain organizations, but as you scale, this matters even more. And it's not easy to see this because one, you're maybe you do not have familiarity with other tools, or two, you're looking at it primarily from a front end perspective. This is more on that back end. But as you scale your usage, this becomes really, really important. And what I mean by that is that the best way to put it, and when I tell competitors like, all right, it's a work graphic connecting to it, data sets, I get it. But what's like a feature that would show that what another platform using a container model versus what your model would do? And the one that comes to mind is multi-homing. Being able to have one task as the source of truth live in multiple different projects across the organization is super powerful. So it's one task, one assignee. That's the one single source of truth. So any change you make to it is visible. But that task lives in many, many different projects. Legal, it can work in operations, marketing, finance. But again, there's that visibility and there's that one single source of truth. In a model, in the work graph like it is today, that's possible. That is possible. And you can pull reports and data and have visibility and have all that level up all the way from the task level to the mission using our data model. In other container models, that's not possible. You can't do that, essentially. You don't have that visibility. You're not tying in all that data because you're in specific tool sets. So it's really powerful. You'll see that all the way from the task, project, portfolio, goals, into the mission. It's all tied together. And I think that's a really powerful thing. especially when you get to that director, especially when you get to that reporting level, because having that visibility, ensuring work is contributing to the things that matter most, and having that full transparency is really impactful and interesting. So yeah,
Thanks for that.
happy to
Thanks
answer
for that.
questions, Brett, too.
Yeah. Got maybe one last question here, Craig, but would love to just hear about maybe an example. So we just looked at the container model, we looked at the work graph, we can see that connection. But I'm just curious, how is AI, in the tool helping teams work better together in Asana and break down those silos? Are there any examples you can speak to?
Yeah, there's a couple things that we're working on that I can kind of preview or highlight. One, it's going to be it's honest. AI is going to be able to give you the right information immediately when you log in or utilize Asana. The goal of it is to, again, understand your best practice, understand your organization, understand you and the way you work and how you utilize Asana, and be able to ensure that it's, one, organized in a way that you want, and two, it gives you the information you need, especially ones that are urgent. What does that mean by that? As work gets done in Asana, it can become messy, like with any work minute. Work is messy, right? Like, it rarely ever is 100% clear, clean, perfect. And so, and it takes time to redo that work and ensuring that you're focusing on the right efforts at the right time. So things like organizing your My Tasks, if there's things that are past due automatically on the back end, AI being able to recommend how they would readjust your My Tasks in a way that makes sense in a click of a button. Maybe utilizing chat, wink, wink, chat that says, hey, I'm struggling to find this information, or who do I work with on this project or task? Where can I find this, or who can I work with? Boom, you can ask the chat and it'll find it based, again, on your space in your Asana organization. This model allows you to do that. And I think in an AI world, it is going to be able to provide you the tools and the data and the information you need up front to be really effective in your role. So there's a lot of ways we're thinking about it. But again, we want to make sure that your AI is utilizing your data. It's personalized to your organization. And it's going to be key. And this is why we believe we're making such an investment in our channel partners is we want to ensure that our customers have a path to get there. If they see the value, if they can help your OKR, they can help your underlying business, and they can say, hey, this is the value it's going to provide. This is the amount of hours you're going to save. This is the money that the value that you're going to provide. We want to ensure that you have a path to get there. And a lot of our service partners, like the ones on here today, we are working very hard in investing into making sure that they are enabled, trained, and supported to be able to provide that path to victory for our customers. Because sometimes it's not easy, or a lot of our customers don't necessarily have time and they need help. So I'm going to say we're making a lot of investments from an enablement perspective, services, platform perspective, to ensure that that customer experience is seamless.
You're saying good stuff on mute, Marquis.
I'm saying great stuff on you. Thank you so much, Terrence. Just wanted to say thank you, Craig, for sharing all that. I know you can only share so much here with us today, but it's nice to see kind of like a sneak peek of what Asana's got going on and how they're making these investments and advancements in AI. So appreciate the time today.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'll be on throughout today's conversations and adding in input if needed, but you're in great hands today and very excited for this. Just appreciate all the folks on today's call. Appreciate you, Marquis. Thank you all so much. Bastian, Erica, Tasbeth, Terrence, everybody on this call. Just thank you so much. And yeah, let's get the day going. This is awesome.